I'm the old bat. And that's the old bud. All right, so I'm going to be starting on the heater channel on the driver's side, and but before I do that, I want to get this whole area here worked out, just because it seems like I should do that before I seal the deal with the heater channel. So, and I just wanted to show you, I put the deck lid back on, and if you look here, you see how this dips in right there, and then look on this side. Yeah, see how this is not dipped in? Kind of goes on the out like that. So that means this whole part here has to come out. And then I've talked about this lump over here. That has to go in. So, and you can see inside the trunk that crack right there. It doesn't exist on the other side. And you can see it from inside as well. See that separation right there? And that's none of that over there on that side. So I need to fix this, and then I'll carry on with the heater channels. This is up like that. It shouldn't be like that. This should all be in. And so this has to go in, and all this has to go in, but this has to come out. So I'm going to set up what I think is going to work to do all this. I'll keep you posted. Okay, and then another issue is that this is too low. So it's too in and it's too low. Let me show you. So I have this tape measure just sitting there. And then if I bring it over without, moving anything, and I put it on the same spot over here, you can see how much lower it is right there. All right, now what I'm doing is I have this ratcheting tie around this pole here, and then I have this ram, that hydraulic ram, so I'm gonna pull on it this way with the ratcheting tie down and push on it with this rod and just keep working it. Hopefully that'll work, so we'll see. All right, here we go. Okay, let's hope this works. That'd be awesome. Okay. Okay, so this is good. Things are moving in the right direction. You see here, there's now this big dip. There's two dips happening. It's dipping here, and there's this big bulby thing, and then it's dipping in here. And this is clearly needs to go in. So I'm going to try to work this little spot, and I think I should keep the pressure on this while I do that. We'll see. There. So I'm going to be hammering this from the inside. Actually, I'm going to heat it up first. So, to the side, this certainly looks better. There's no big hump anymore. It's bumpy. I know, I gotta make that better, but I think that's where it needs to be. So now I just need to deal with this and this, because this is too far out now. Remember, it used to be too far in. So, no big deal. That, I think, is going to be an easy fix, that part. All right. All right, I'm back at it, getting that moved in. And I know I made a dumb mistake, because I really wasn't paying attention to this when I was working on this part. And that's the result of that. But I think I'll be able to fix it pretty easily. So I have this side of the car ratcheted to that, and it's attached to the chassis, not the car. And then over here, what I've done is I've attached the chassis at 2 points to over here. So hopefully when I press this in, this can't go any further that way. And over there, that can't go like this, because that's what it was doing yesterday, because I have this now attached over there. So let's see how this goes. That is perfect like that. So now I'm gonna go a little deeper because of the spring back and tap a little bit. And hopefully it'll stay there when I release it. Okay, let's do some more stretch, or whatever you want to call this, pushing. Okay. And I'm going to go around too and make sure that's all straight here. Okay. I hope it springs back where we were. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Awesome. So here, you see that big hump? That was right here, is now gone. This is all what it's supposed to be. This actually could still be pushed in a little bit right here. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I think it does need to be pushed in a little bit more, so I'm going to do that right there. But I'm not going to attach it to the body this time. I'm just going to push there, and I think the way I have the card anchored down, it should keep it still. All right, let me do that. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. You can see that this is much better, and we want it to look like that. That has seam sealer on it, of course, so, but that's much better. So what I'm gonna do is, I think, well, let me get out of the car and then I'll tell you what I think. Okay, so this is where it just basically bunched up and poked out. So that means this has been stretched quite a bit. So what I'm thinking is I'm just gonna cut that out, not cut it out, but just relieve the pressure and maybe just do one cut, tap it in, and then maybe do a cut and butt to get this pressure out of here, because I feel like every time I keep smoking, it needs to shrink, and I can't make it shrink, I don't think. I know there's ways you can like heat panels up and shrink them, but this to me seems like it's beyond that. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then up here, this kind of bulges out, so I'm gonna get that done too. Here's my chisel. Let's see how the inside looks. Getting there. So down there, that looks pretty good. See, you can see where I cut in. Okay, so I have this relief cut, that, and all that. And this is all perfect. I'm gonna push this in just a little bit more now. And then I think I'll be done. I hope. Here we go. tires. There. And there. I'm going to take a measurement, but it looks pretty darn close. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay, so what I've discovered after hours of poking around here is that this is dipping down. It was crashed, and this whole thing is about a ½ an inch lower than that side over there. So this needs to go up. And you can tell because there's this hump right here. So what I did was I took this little tray off, or this little thing. I just loosened it up. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to start from where it bends, and I'm just going to cut. Zoop! And then I'm going to lift it all up. See how that goes. I know it's a risk. Worst case scenario is I buy a whole new end thing like this. It's a little scary. Let me just show you a couple things here. So the car is level, obviously. I leveled it in several areas, and then I double checked different heights from the ground, from the chassis. So right there down to there, I checked it on both sides. It's perfectly perfect. And from here down on both sides, it's perfect. So that's why I'm cutting this part. And it's, like I said, about a ½ an inch difference. So let me get those measurements in the video here. I'll be right back. Okay, so I locked the tape measure in. And on this is the passenger side that isn't messed up. You can see how different it is. Okay, is that the right height there? Oh boy. And the whole thing got smushed, so it probably is smushed this way and that way. So it's okay that there's this big gap here. That actually corresponds to the big gap that was over here. Okay. I bet you had doubts I can do this, but guess what? I did it. So I have the bumper on to make sure that these are spaced the right distance apart. I put the fender on so all the bolt holes line up where they're supposed to be. And you'll see in here, sorry, this here is just loose right now. So you can see how far off it was right there. Let's go inside. Get this out of the way. See how much better that looks over there? I'm happy. That was one of the things that was pecking away at me, is trying to figure out if I could even do this. Here's a look at it from this side. It looks like crap, but it is at the right height. I did a bunch of different measurements. The car's level. I don't know if you happen to see that when I just went inside the car. There's a level there. There's a level there. That's level. And then I measured from the bottom of the bumper down on both sides. It's the same. And then I measured from the bottom over there to the ground, and it's the same. So everything is the same. What an accomplishment that was. Now I just need to patch this up. Okay, I also forgot to show you how the deck lid fits. So there, and there. That, that. It looks great. Okay, let's take a better look in here. So you see how far out this is right here? And I believe the reason why is that it got bent right there, which makes sense. So I'm gonna slice that, bend this over. I don't want to screw up anything. You're probably thinking, Trix, you've already screwed up so much. I don't think I have. Okay, so I put the rear valance, is that what this thing is called? And, you know, this thing is definitely all banged up, so I don't know how accurate this is, but it gives me, just to make sure, what I want to make sure is that the rubber channel line lines up over here and that it's level to that side. So you see I have this string attached underneath there. I'm going to bring that to underneath there and then look at the level. Okay, so that'll tell me, there we go, if I need to raise this up a teensy. So now it's level, and you can see those lines are aligned, so I'm feeling pretty confident. Okay, I'm gonna get all my safety gear on in a minute, but I wanted to show what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna do this butt weld here, and then over here, I'm gonna do the cut and butt. I actually turned the camera off and turned it on, so I got these few tacks in here, and I removed the clamps, so. Okay, so I have this piece of, what is it called? Not a T-track. Anyway, it's a track. And it's aluminum, extruded aluminum, since I think it's pretty useful as a straight edge. So now I can see I'm measuring it from the very edge of it over here to over there and getting it level, and then I'll tack it in. And then I'll do the same thing back there, over there, and from back there. So hopefully that'll put it in the right spot. All right. Okay, so I have the measuring stick right there to the ground. I'm going to take it and go on the other side now. Okay, here's the other side. It's good. It's perfecto. That is good enough for me. Oh, I'm so excited. So, all right, now I'm going to take all the other stuff off. All right, here we go. Let me see if you can see this. I'm going to line on the subject. Come on, stay in place. There. Can you see that? So both sides are right where they need to be, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, but here it is, done. So what I'm going to do now is weld everything up final, and then I'll be on to the heater channel. Okay, so here's the deck lid. You'll see that the gap there matches the gap over here. And there's a nice uniform gap up there. It gets a little close there and there, so I'm not sure if that's normal. But the gap along here is the same as the gap along this side here. Where are you? There you are. All this is the same. And there's no weather stripping in there, so I know it's going to be a little different once that goes in. But these are flush. This is a little proud right there, it feels like. That's flush too. So I think all that stuff can be arranged when if I poke around with the hinges a little bit more. But there's no reason I have to do that right now. All right, peace out. Okay, so I haven't put any, it's all done now. You can see where I welded. Over here I welded on this side, and then I opened up a panel on the other side so I could weld the back of it. So it is all welded up now. Yeah, I know it looks like poop because I haven't cleaned it off, but I did put OSPO on, and I will put fiberglass Bondo on all the parts where there's a weld. But you can see in here, now I know that over there looks poopy. So, but I'm gonna get it from behind. So all this is done. Here's that patch I did to get behind there. And I know all that looks like crapola, but I have to fix all that, so that's no big deal. There's no holes in it anywhere, which is the best part. All right, it is done. I'm proud of myself. Peace out.